This tattoo I have right here, this picture of Elvis Presley was the back cover of, I believe it was like the Live via Satellite album that he did in Hawaii or something like that. My mom was a big Elvis fan, and so I got that tattoo actually as a reminder of my first memory of rock and roll. And I would just sit on the floor in our, orange shag carpet living room in Columbus, Georgia. When I learned how to actually put a record on and put the needle on the record, we'd sit and listen to that record all day long and just stare at the back cover, which was that picture of Elvis, which was probably, not the most flattering picture of Elvis. It's definitely like suicidal, PBJ, pill popping, sweaty, always 24/7, hallucinating Elvis. And that though, I'd look at that for hours and just sit there. I mean, because there was no internet. I couldn't YouTube or Google Elvis Presley. I had to just sit and look at a picture of it. But I just remember thinking, God, this guy looks so wild. He's white sequin jumpsuit with crazy black hair and sideburns and sweat all over. Just like, guy's working it, I mean, at 4 and 5 years old, that being my memories of, it stuck with me. I still remember it to this day, and that's why I have it tattooed on my arm, that picture. After that came Kiss when I was 8, and I saw this commercial with this local rock promoter, concert promoter in Atlanta named Alex Cooley. That's how they used to do it back in the day, was there'd be like a public access commercial they would make for $5 and put on, and it would just be all over like the local channels on TV. And so it would promote concerts coming to town. So I just remember him saying, hi, I'm Alex Cooley, and I'm bringing Kiss to the Omni in Atlanta for New Year's Eve. This was 1977, New Year's Eve. And I just remember seeing pictures of them. It showed live footage of them in the commercial, and it was like this circus coming to town, because I'd never seen anything like that. It definitely looked designed to scare parents, and I liked that. So I begged mine to take me as a birthday. I was like, birthday, Christmas, all rolled into one. I don't care, I just want to go. So they took the whole family, which was a pretty funny scene, because my dad was pretty conservative at that point. I had not really showed him the rock and roll ways till way later in life, when he loosened up before he was out. But back then, he was pretty freaked out by it. It was everybody smoking pot and passing joints over my mom's head to complete strangers. My 2 older sisters were just sitting there, who were not old either at the time. They were like 10 and 11 or 12, and they were just like freaking out too at what a scene it was. Just smelled like pot everywhere. There was beach balls flying everywhere. Everybody was dressed like Kiss. It was kind of like the movie Detroit Rock City, if you ever saw that. It totally is legit as far as that's how the concerts looked back then. Everybody was dressed full on like Kiss, and there was like 2 guys behind us that were dressed like Gene and Paul. I just remember the guy kept spilling his beer on the back of my dad's seat all over his brand new, my dad had a leather blazer that my grandma gave him. And when the lights went out, I just remember looking over, and the lights went out, and I could just see a silhouette from all the flash bulbs going off everywhere of like my dad with his hands around Gene's neck, like doing this back and forth, like choking him out. And I didn't even care. I was just like, I was watching the stage going, oh yeah, Dad's getting in a fight with Gene Simmons over here. I'm watching the real one on stage. This is blowing my mind. And after that, I started playing guitar immediately. So I saw Ace Frehley, his guitar levitate on a cable up to the rafters and blow up, and 20,000 stoners went mental. And I was like, I'm gonna do that. So that's it. I never looked back after that. I enjoy the process of a band being all on the floor live at the same time, and all mic'd up and kind of warts and all, exposed, so you can really hear the way a band sounds live. I can understand how like songs on the radio, like on pop radio, like a pop production doesn't have any of that. It's kind of the antithesis, actually. It's very perfected and quantized and tuned and straightened out. And you know, there's no room for, there's not a lot of human element left to the track, except maybe in the vocal, hopefully, but even that gets corrected to death these days for that stuff. So, and it's fun to listen to, maybe, I don't know, depending on how drunk you are, but like it's not like something that I'm going to listen to more than once or twice and I'll be tired of it pretty quickly. Whereas if you're listening to some of my favorite records are old records that were done in a few days, and you can just hear all these mistakes and all these beautiful mistakes, though, like musical ones that work enough to just say, oh, let's keep that. That was interesting. I can't play that again anyway that way if I tried. So there was a lot of that involved on the record, you know. Me and Ryan Adams did the record. He produced it. The way we did it in the studio was the band had no idea what song we were going to do that day, and I would come in and I would play them a song idea. We would kind of listen to it and flesh it out really quickly, and then go in and record it and capture it in its rawest, for lack of a better cliche, its purest, rawest form, and leave it after 1 or 2 takes total, and never listen to it again until we're mixing the record. No revisitation whatsoever. And it kind of leaves you hanging a little bit when you're 4 or 5 songs into the record going, man, I wonder if we got that first one or that second one. But you just kind of know that it's in the moment when you're doing it, and instead of going for absolute perfection, you're going for whatever moves everybody in the room at the time. So all I knew is that I could have easily have hated it working with somebody else again, and then just gone in and redone the record myself. But you know, after those 4 days were over, I was like, no, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't change a thing.